name is Joshua Jennifer Espinoza, and this poem is entitled Things Haunt. California is a desert, and I am a woman inside it. The road ahead bends sideways, and I lurch within myself. I'm full of ugly feelings, awful thoughts, bad dreams of doom, and so much love left unspoken. Is Mercury in retrograde, someone asks? Someone answers, no, it's something else like that, though. Something else like that. That should be my name. When you ask me, am I really a woman, a human being, a coherent identity, I'll say no, I'm something else like that, though. A true citizen of planet Earth closes their eyes and says what they are before the mirror. A good person gives and asks for nothing in return. I give and I ask for only one thing. Hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me. Hear me. Bear the weight of my voice and don't forget. Things haunt. Things exist long after they are killed.
Regular viewers of Tales from the IE know that the first U.S. concert by the Rolling Stones happened in San Bernardino, California, on June 5, 1964. It took place at the Swing Auditorium on the National Orange Show Fairgrounds. The group's second concert in San Bernardino happened less than 5 months later on Halloween night, 1964. Once again, it took place at the Swing Auditorium. Like the June concert, it was presented by Inland Empire radio station KMEN. KMEN wasted no time in promoting the appearance in their weekly music survey. 6 days before the show, Swing Auditorium promoter Bob Lewis said in the San Bernardino Sun-Telegram newspaper that 1,000 tickets were still available. Lewis predicted that the concert would be an advance ticket sale sellout. 3 days before the show, this photo appeared in the Daily Sun newspaper. The photo caption stated that fast-going tickets were still available for purchase. On the day of the concert, a Daily Sun article reported that tickets could still be purchased until 5 p.m. at the Harris department stores in San Bernardino and Riverside, and at Lear's Music Store, also in San Bernardino. Beginning at 7 p.m., they would be available at the Orange Show box office. That same day, this photo and article appeared in the Daily Sun. It announced that the newspaper's teen correspondent, John Morthland, would be interviewing the Rolling Stones backstage on the night of the concert. Before the show, Stones fans lined up hours early to get the best vantage points since all seats were unreserved. A number of candid snapshots were taken by Stones fans who managed to get backstage. Radio station KMEN allowed some fans in. Others gained access by using other connections, like Swing Auditorium promoters and security guards. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger seemed to be the most popular subjects for the young photographers. But by far, Jagger was undeniably the favorite Rolling Stone to photograph before the show. Someone sprang for color film and also took backstage photographs. In the photo on the right, a student reporter can be seen interviewing the Rolling Stones. It turns out that the young reporter was John Morthland, a San Bernardino High School journalism student. In this photo, he's seen on the left. This photo appeared in the Daily Sun. Morthland was the editor-in-chief of San Bernardino High School's Tyra Weekly student newspaper. He was also a correspondent for the Daily Sun. Along with the photo was his article. The first Rolling Stone he spoke to was Keith Richards. "I like America very much," he said in a thick British accent. "Our reception here has been wonderful. Last week in New York, we almost got torn apart. There were thousands of kids there, and after the show, the police just couldn't hold them back. They told us just to run for it, and we almost didn't make it. We also had a very enthusiastic group waiting for us at the airport." Bill Wyman added, In the United States, we usually get our best reception here and in New York. Our fans are very good to us in America. Mick Jagger, the clown of the group, explained what he thought was the big difference between the Stones' American fans and those in Europe. "It's the girls," he said. "They have longer hair and they dress differently." As he was speaking, an orange show policeman walked by. With an impish grin on his face, Mick reached to his belt for an imaginary gun. The cop laughed and went for his gun. Mick threw up his hands in mock terror and laughed back. "What makes the Rolling Stones so popular wherever they go?" "I really can't say why," offered a tired Charlie Watts. "I can't define the appeal, but I'm not going to fight it." And what happens when the group gets older and is forced to disband? "I can't speak for the rest, but for me, there's going to be a 10-year holiday," sighed a frenzied Brian Jones. A Morthland article also ran in the November 6, 1964 San Bernardino High School Tyro Weekly student newspaper. In part, the review read, "How do San Bernardino teenagers react to the Rolling Stones? The answer in a word is fanatically. I had the opportunity to interview the Stones for close to 2 hours Saturday night. I found them to be rather unusual, to say the least. But the funniest thing that night was the way the girls roared their approval at the Swing Auditorium. By the time the Stones had finished their first number, Not Fade Away, every person in Swing Auditorium was standing on his seat. Girls were already screaming like there would be no tomorrow, and the stage was already covered with jelly beans. Apparently the first song just about took it out of vocalist Mick Jagger, because he walked back to the area of drummer Charlie Watts and took off his coat. As he pranced to the front of the stage, the crowd went crazy. I guess the thought of a striptease intrigued them. As he moved from one end of the stage to the other, harassed policemen moved with him. When Mick moved to the left, the cops dashed over to the left side, trying to hold back the crowd. When he came toward the right, the girls on the right side of the auditorium screamed and tried to break through the police, who by now were on that side of the auditorium. The poor cops. I think they got more of a workout than the Stones and the fans combined. It's known what happened to the Stones, but what became of the reporter? In part 2, we answer the question, whatever happened to John Morthland?
Excel, I can open the gates to heaven or hell. Cast aside the flesh of thee, cast aside and set you free. Oh, oh, death. Oh, oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? Can't you spare me over till another year? I lock their jaws so they can't talk, stiffen their legs so they can't walk, close their eyes so they can't see the chill you feel, it comes from me. Oh, oh, death. Oh, oh, death. Can't you spare me over till another year? Oh, oh, death. Oh, oh, death. Can't you spare me over till another year? I cannot see. I feel the sheet pulling over me. Oh, oh, death. Oh, death. Can't you spare me over till another year? Oh, death. Oh, death. Can't you spare me over till another year?
Welcome to a Halloween edition of Me, Myself, and I. I have this wonderful casket trailer to get you in the mood. Let's go to the shelf and see what we got. You know, for the aficionados of the classic Universal monster films, you'll always have newer editions of the said films. From DVD to the Blu-ray versions, now to the 4K versions, now to the fancier packaging. But what happens to Universal past those classic films? They continue to do horror films, and it's very well documented. Universal Horror Collection. What happens next for Universal? The difference is that maybe the stories aren't as essential, but the look improves. By the time Val Lewton comes around, and this almost noirish, deep black or white contrast starts to be really, really essential to making these films. Universal has a really great grasp on the look of horror films, and you also get to see how some of the horror masters like Karloff or Lugosi, how they continue in their career. One of the great ones is The Black Cat, where I think it's the first time Lugosi and Karloff are together, and it's a very unsettling, satanic cult. It's a good way to portray the acting range for both of these guys. So you get to kind of sample what happens to those folks and their careers. Throughout the set, because there's 6 of these suckers. The look, because it's a Blu-ray, is kind of upgraded. I mean, you get to see this movement from, how those period pieces, everyone seemed to be in the same village, Dracula and Frankenstein and the Burgermeister and whatnot, is that these films started to have new settings in more modern life, and where the horror becomes something part of our lives, which is a big part of what horror films are now. And we think of horror being here, that there's modern monsters. Collection 3, Man-Made Monster, Horror Island, Tower of London. That's not very scary. Gorilla Stories, Captive Wild Woman, The Monster and the Girl, Jungle Woman. She's pretty spooky. All in all, this Universal Horror Collection is a good way to see good versions of what Universal did next with the horror genre. Kind of good creepy stories and a new kind of monster, a human monster. Hello, Eric Webster. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Welcome to the Lo-Fi Lounge, and for uh, getting together in a very impromptu way here. We've been showing a couple of your short Spooktober uh, films, and they're so good. They're so clever and so well made that I just wanted to be able to touch bases with you about, well, just the whole project, how you got going with it, and kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I started Spooktober shortly after I moved out to Los Angeles, and I had like a group of friends out here, and it was getting around like Halloween season, and I guess we were just trying to think of like something to do,
Yeah, exactly.
um, something spooky to do around that time. And I came up with the idea of like, oh, what if we make like 13 short horror films, like the 13 days leading up to Halloween, and release it like once a day leading up to Halloween. But I really just wanted to do something. Like, I had just come out to LA and I had just finished college, and I wanted to just like make something quick and easy.
Yeah.
Like, you could film it on your iPhone and then edit it later that day, and then release it maybe that night. Is sort of like the philosophy. Just look around my apartment like, okay, what's something what can I make like right here, right now,
I
I
think
guess.
you were probably kind of pleased at how it was coming out from the get-go.
Yeah, I don't know how it started. Yeah, I would just share them out on YouTube, share them around among friends. Yeah, it just became a point where like, yeah, my friends would be asking like, oh, like when's the next Spooktober happening? Or like most of the clever tricks you see is me just on YouTube looking up a quick tutorial. And if there are special effects like changes in lighting, or I want to create like an effect, I usually do those with just like lights I have in my apartment, like just colored bulbs with different lights, just like off frame or moving them around, I guess. But it's all relatively very simple. That's sort of the idea of Spooktober.
As a a film student, you're finishing up school, you're moving to LA. Has this been a
Mhm.
exercise for just kind of teaching yourself?
I think the good thing about just like the volume of it is that you always just kind of have to keep making stuff, just
Yeah.
sort of setting a schedule. And there have been a couple Spooktobers where I'll be watching it and I'll be like, it's not great, but it's something.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh. Like, I guess, like, yeah, like if you stop playing an instrument for a long enough time, it gets harder to sort of pick it back up and learn. Just sort of keeping my skill set fresh.
John Gardner was a writer who he had like his first 8 novels. I mean, they didn't sell, and he got a job as a forest ranger because he knew he'd have a lot of time on his hands. And he
Yeah.
kept writing. And he'd had all this, manuscripts. There was like on a cardboard box. He had it at the little ranger station and stuff. So he writes this book about creative writing. And his very first tenet is just doing it. Because, writers write, filmmakers make films, songwriters write songs. And that act of completing is something that's very, very hard, I think, for people in the arts at all, because they'll get hung up on, well, it isn't perfect, so I never finished it.
Yeah. That's kind of the whole philosophy behind Spooktober. Yeah, just like getting off the couch. Like I've kind of devoted myself to like studying film and participating in, the industry, and
Right.
this is sort of like my way. Yeah. Well, I'm sort of in the middle of making the 5th Spooktober right now. I have a friend who's making a stop motion Spooktober. Yeah, I have another friend who just made one with his dog. Like we're Spooktober's first animal actor, I guess we're gonna have. And then I'll be making a couple of my for myself. So kind of still in the thick of it.
Where to send submissions to you? What should I put as an address?
Eric Web 11 at Gmail would be a good place. We don't have an official, I guess, like Spooktober
site,
social media site yet. It's still all very like personal and small. So but yeah, if anybody wants to reach out,
we'll make new friends,
Hey, all right. Yeah, expand Spooktober. I'm all for it.
Just keep doing it. I mean, you're a really creative person, and just seems like a really neat outlet and a way to hone your skills and do whatever you're going to do moving forward.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate them. And yeah, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for reaching out. This was great.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
See you, man.
Hey, it's Mike Gagan from The Dangers. I'm here at studio in Redlands, and Marie and I were doing some guitar overdubs, and these two gentlemen stopped by, and they're going to help me with a couple of things. This is Bonesy and Skinny, or is it Skinny and Bonesy? I can't remember. I never get you guys straight. But I'm glad you're doing the social distancing thing, for me at least, and you're wearing your mask, so that's cool. I appreciate you guys being here because I know it's real busy this time of year for you, especially. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing a danger song, and I want you to just play along with me, and then I want you also to say the words, "Hey, play Orange Blossom," when I give you the cue. Okay? So we're going to try this to see if it works. These guys are pretty good, so they should pick up on it pretty quick. So here we go. Ready? You guys are already playing. That's how ready you are. Okay. We're the last band this evening that brought our own power. Hey, play Orange Blossom. That's late for this hour. Notes become fireflies, they spin through the tower. Hung over the searching is late counting hour. So that was pretty good. It was you were a little silent on the part, but I covered for you. It's something I'd always wanted to ask you guys. Mars Attacks, right? Jack Nicholson. Was he cool on the set, or was he sort of a prima donna?
New music from the Dangers on the To finish off the show, let's hear the performance of a Chris LeRoy, Johnny Hickman song called Haunted, performed by Johnny, myself on bass, and on drums, Chad Villarreal. Enjoy.
Haunted house.